How's it going, everybody? I'm Sam Lee, reading for writer Jaden Spizek, and welcome to Gaming Instincts. PlayStation has a near 30-year history, creating memorable gaming experiences that have captivated the masses and have created plenty of fond memories and nostalgic moments. Their catalog features everything from iconic titles like Jak and Daxter and God of War to lesser-known ones such as Socom and Layer. However, if you ask any longtime PlayStation fans what their favorite games were, their answers might surprise you. Here are the top 5 iconic yet forgotten PlayStation games that we feel deserve a new lease on life. Number 5. Heavenly Sword. A solid hack-and-slash title released for the PlayStation 3, Heavenly Sword had the misfortune of being largely forgotten by the wider gaming populace. Its development started off promising enough, with its creators at Ninja Theory hiring Lord of the Rings' Andy Serkis to write, act, and serve as a cinematic director to teach the cast about motion capture. Unfortunately, Ninja Theory didn't break even on Heavenly Sword, as the title only sold around 500,000 copies, and a planned trilogy was eventually scrapped. Even though Heavenly Sword seemed to come out to a mediocre reception, the title has retained a cult following and sometimes emerges in conversations about possible PlayStation remakes. With some claiming the game was ahead of its time, there's a pervasive belief that PlayStation 5's capacity for 60 frames per second gameplay and full 4K visuals could bring this seemingly dead game back from the brink. With how good Heavenly Sword was, a sequel has a lot to work with. A deep combat system? Check. An epic story? Check. A strong lead character? Also check. If PlayStation were to team up with either Platinum Games or Bluepoint Games, Heavenly Sword could be a bona fide hit in this new generation. Just make sure to bring back Andy Serkis for its development. Number 4. Socom. Initially developed by the now defunct Zipper Interactive, Socom US Navy SEALs was touted as one of the first real attempts at delivering an online team-based military shooter on consoles, akin to Counter-Strike on the PC. The developers at Zipper wanted Socom to feel as authentic as possible, leading to their decision to collaborate with the United States Naval Special Warfare Command during production. Using the knowledge given to them to develop the setting and story, Zipper also used motion capture to make sure the character models would move like soldiers out in the field. It was a tremendous effort that ended up paying off. The first game alone sold over 1.4 million units and earned over $82 million in the US. After the success of the first game, Zipper got to work on its sequel and cemented Socom as a PlayStation staple for years to come. Unfortunately, people lost interest in the series as the PlayStation 3 came along and flooded the market with first and third-person shooters alike. With 2011's Socom 4 unable to keep up and having the bad luck of releasing during the infamous PSN outage, the Socom series as a whole went dark. Now that the industry has calmed down on producing military shooters outside of big hitters like Call of Duty and Battlefield, Socom could have a real chance at a revival. It's been 10 years since Socom 4's release, and this modern age of looter shooters and online play, there could be a market for such a classic's rebirth. Number 3. Twisted Metal. If you like destroying Hot Wheels cars as a kid, you would have probably loved Twisted Metal, a game all about wreaking vehicular-based havoc and just about having fun in a fully destructible environment. Players were tasked with destroying their competitors with a multitude of different vehicles, weapons, and characters. 4 games were released on the original PlayStation to mixed reception, but they sold well regardless. If this series is revived, Twisted Metal will get its second chance to improve its story and receive a much-needed graphical overhaul that could lend itself very well to some truly gorgeous destructive spectacle. With a TV show being worked on, there is hope that it could bring more brand recognition and push Sony to greenlight production on a new Twisted Metal game. Number 2. Siphon Filter. When people think of stealth games, most people's minds would instantly gravitate towards Metal Gear Solid or Splinter Cell, forgetting the series that helped popularize the genre. Siphon Filter released in 1999 and starred Gabriel Logan, a secret agent who was tasked by the United States government with apprehending an international criminal. The story was never anything to write home about, but the original game set a standard for future stealth games. The game saw releases on both the original PlayStation and the PSP. After the release of Siphon Filter Logan's Shadow, however, the series went silent, and its developer Bend Studio moved on to other projects like Uncharted Golden Abyss and Days Gone, which has sparked theories of Siphon Filter returning. The industry lacks in third-person stealth action titles nowadays, seeing only the odd release at present. Most titles that even try to integrate stealth elements don't focus much on a pure stealth approach, creating a void that Siphon Filter could easily fill. Given that Bend Studio remains passionate about the series, a reboot is quite possible. And finally, sitting at number 1, PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale. Released in 2012, PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale was a brilliant concept that perhaps inevitably brought with it many comparisons to Super Smash Bros., which ultimately proved detrimental to the game's success. PlayStation AllStars was a much more advanced game than its Nintendo-created counterpart, taking time to learn the intricacies on account of its developer, Superbot, being made up of fighting game veterans. A more casual audience would find that the controls were easy enough to grasp, but to truly understand which combos to use and follow up on could be daunting. It may be a potential factor in why players were turned off from the game. Unlike Super Smash Bros., which sees players throwing one another off the stage, AllStars decided to make players build up a super bar to win games. The bar added a tactical element to play, as players would have to choose whether to rack up points using smaller super moves or save up for one full power move that could result in at least 3 to 4 kills. The aspect of choice, along with knowing when to use supers and how to cancel or avoid them, lent so much to the gameplay and made each match feel unique, despite the game's small roster. If AllStars was revived, we could see new characters from games that have released since 2013. Furthermore, with companies growing more willing to cooperate on such projects, we could see Crash and maybe Spyro make their way to the roster. While Superbot Entertainment was shuttered shortly after the launch of the game, that does not mean Sony couldn't create a new studio or outsource it to one of their existing first-party developers. PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale was something too special to be abandoned, and the PlayStation 5 could benefit from having a sequel to this criminally underrated game. This has been Gaming Instincts. The full article version is in the description down below, and if you want to check out other awesome articles, please go to gaminginstincts.com. Do not forget to subscribe to our newsletter so you can catch up on gaming news, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on those notifications so you won't miss a thing on our latest videos. Thanks for watching, this has been Sam Lee, and we'll catch you next time.